Hello everyone, I am in Ocean City, Maryland at the Boardwalk for the very first time in my life. I'm very excited to go check out the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. I've been to a few of these before. They're so cool. Just a museum dedicated to all things weird and unusual. Let's go check it out. It's gonna be good. So take a look at this. They have a giant shark busting out of the building like that. It's gonna be awesome. And before we head inside, let's take a look at some of the things they have outside the building. We have a 12-foot tire used for mining equipment. It's massive. And over here we have an incredible Hulk sculpture made entirely out of car parts. This used to be on display in the Atlantic City Ripley's Believe It or Not, which just recently closed last year. But fortunately, I was lucky enough to see it while it was still open, and I do have a video on that if you want to check that out. And over here we have a rhinoceros made entirely out of scrap metal, looking kind of like a chrome transformer beast robot. What are they called? The beast transformers? I forget, but this reminds me of that. So here we can see a portrait of Mr. Spock made entirely out of keyboard pieces. I love Star Trek. I think it's better than Star Wars. You can fight me on that if you want to. And this fellow here in the snorkel is Edward Hogner, who was known as the world's thinnest man, who suffered from a condition, and he never weighed more than 50 pounds. And over here we have famous sideshow performer Johnny Eck, who was born without a set of legs, and yet he could still do all these acrobatic feats using only his arms. All right, let's head up the stairs and see what kind of mysteries await us. I am so excited for this. I love Ripley's. And the first thing we're greeted to is Mr. Robert Ripley himself. So this is a brick from the wall in Chicago from the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which a group of mobsters were lined up and executed against it. And over here we actually have a piece of a wing flown from a plane flown by Amelia Earhart. And down here we have a casting of Abraham Lincoln, and I believe this was done while he was still alive. This piece used to be in Atlantic City. I do remember seeing that one. And here we have a section of the Berlin Wall. And just look at this car. Could you imagine driving one of those things? So up above us we have some artwork made out of interesting objects. This is the Statue of Liberty, made entirely out of postage stamps. And this is a portrait made entirely out of push pins. It might be hard to see, but if you look closely, those are all push pins. And over here is a flamingo made entirely out of bottle caps. So these objects don't have descriptions for them, so let's see if we can figure out what they are. So it looks like there's Mona Lisa painted on that small object there, whatever that happens to be. I'm not sure what it is exactly. There's some interesting drinking cups. And down here it looks like we have some wooden arrows piercing bottles, kind of interesting, and we have a deck of cards actually inside a bottle. I wonder how they got that in there. We have some sort of jawbone, ornamented jawbone device. And this appears to be maybe dinosaur eggs? I'm not sure. So here we can see the skeleton of a two-headed calf. And this is a replica of a giant marlin. Just look at the size of that thing. Oh, and this is the backside of the shark we see outside the building. Look at that. Okay, let's start making our way through this museum. There's a lot to see here. So these are some biographical pictures of Robert Ripley. And this is crazy. He actually owned a one-eyed sheepdog named Cyclops. Let's see what we have in this case. We have a skull bead necklace from Tibet. We have a boar's tusk headband from New Guinea. That one's blocked, I can't read it. But it's a carved wooden totem. Kind of cute looking. And we have an ostrich egg. And we have Abisu, the Japanese god of incarnate virtues. So here we have a Tibetan monkey skull bull. And that makes me think of that one scene from Indiana Jones. You know the one I'm talking about. And back there we have a Japanese geisha wig. That's really neat. And these were cockfighting spurs. That's really cruel. I don't approve of that. So this object here is known as a Garuda's talon, and it was actually a fighting claw worn on the finger in India. And you can actually go and buy those at Hot Topic. So this sculpture of Robert Ripley's head was actually made by a blind artist who would feel his face and use that to create the art. Really incredible that they could do that. And here we have a portrait of Rihanna made entirely out of light brights. Let's get a close look at that. Yep, all light brights. So here's a South Sea Islands fishing spear. Must be catching some big fish with that thing. And here we have a West African ancestor mask. So that right there is an anaconda snake skin. And it really gives you an idea of just how massive they are. Here we have a Burmese temple gong. And right here we have a 5-legged alligator. What could be worse than getting eaten by an alligator? An alligator with 5 legs. And this is a West African Vodun fetish figure. And this is a West African fertility statue. Oh, excuse me guys, I just want to sneak through here. Wait a minute. You're not real. And you're not real either. What's going on? So take a look at this. This is a vending machine filled with snacks made from different bugs. You can get insects inside amber candy. We have different flavored worms here. We have barbecue, cheddar cheese, dessert scorpion, and some kind of little scorpion there. Here you have different flavored crickets. You can get a scorpion and a lollipop. Ant wafers. There's some ant candy. And you can even get a tequila lollipop with a worm inside it. Alrighty, we're gonna try some cheddar cheese larvets. Some little worms. Cheddar cheese flavored worms. Let's give them a try.
For hundreds of years, the Shuar have lived deep in the Amazon jungle. When they were discovered, they were wearing what appears to be miniature heads.
They don't taste bad, but you know you're eating a bug when you eat them. Here we can see an albino cobra. And here we can see various different weapons. We have a cannibal fork, which I guess was used for eating people. We have an African axe. We have a necklace made out of pig's teeth. And this is made out of human bone. Over here we have a flute made out of a human bone. I guess it's a femur, maybe? Doesn't say. We have some sort of club. And down here we have a mask made out of actual human skin. That's really terrifying. Here we can see Bobby Blackburn, who works at a crocodile ranch in South Africa and wears a set of dentures made to look like crocodile teeth. So here in this case we can see the famous shrunken heads. It doesn't say whether these are genuine or not. So these were known for having like a lot of forgeries, you know, just fake ones made from monkey heads. But there were genuine articles out there. And I wonder if these are real or not. I'd have to find that out. But it's pretty chilling to look at these up close. So here we have a musical instrument that actually uses a gorilla's skull. And this is a bowl made out of a coconut of the sea, which is a large seed pod. And down here we have a New Guinea penis sheath. And here we have a Haitian voodoo statue. Now, voodoo kind of gets a bad rap as sort of like black magic and stuff like that, but it's actually a genuine religion for the people of Haiti. It's sort of an integration of traditional beliefs and modern beliefs. All right, it looks like we're going into the torture chamber section. Here we can see a coffin used for a burial at sea. And this is an executioner's hood and some Chinese executioner's swords. And here we have the Iron Maiden of Nuremberg. Let's get a look at these spikes. Oh my goodness, I would not want to be in there. So this is a premature burial tomb which had a viewing window to prevent an accidental living burial. So they would have viewing windows and they would have these bells which a person could ring if they were to wake up in a coffin by accident. Let's take a look down here and see what's in here. So this is a North African sword pistol. So you can stab somebody and then shoot them at the same time, just to make sure they're really dead. So this is a torture chair, all studded with spikes. I don't know, do you think I should sit in it? Here we can see a French voodoo curse box. All kinds of horrible looking things in there. I don't even know what you'd do with all those things. Maybe put a curse on your worst enemy. We have a creepy doll and a little dried out bat. Really spooky stuff. So here we have some more various torture devices. The Scavenger's Daughter. Up here we had chastity belts, which, now I've heard that these weren't actually a real thing, that they're actually just a myth, but who knows. We have some shackles. And over here we have a vampire killing kit. Everything you need to take on an undead foe. You have holy water, silver bullets, crosses, and you better pray that that works for you if you're face to face with a vampire. This is a medieval witch catcher. Sheesh. And a pair of wrist shackles. And here we have a piece of the cape worn by Bela Lugosi in the movie Dracula. Now, I love that movie. It's one of the all-time greatest classic horror movies. This used to be in the Atlantic City's Ripley Museum, and I'm glad that those pieces are still on display. So this door is actually a screen-used set piece from the movie Psycho at the Bates Motel. That's amazing. I always love it when you see a screen-used piece like this. It's really cool stuff. And we have more and more horrible, horrible torture devices. We have a torture mask. We have a man trap. That looks like it could cut your leg clean off. And we have a gibbet in which prisoners were placed in this iron cage and just left out to the elements to suffer. Oh, and we have some skulls here. So this is an ossuary skull placed in a storage cave, and it was painted. And here we have a German ritual skull, which looks like it has some markings. Oh gosh. Oh, that's so cool. So here we have a skull used in trepanation, which was drilling a hole in the skull. And you can see there a skull with a hole drilled into it. And that was actually done as like a medical practice. People thought it was beneficial. Death by beer barrel. A robber in Jodestall, Norway, who committed murder was executed by being placed in a barrel, spiked with nails, and hurled 500 feet down the side of a mountain. Oh my gosh. Here we can see a portrait of the Joker made entirely out of Rubik's Cube pieces. So this is really cool. This is a motorcycle made out of old car parts. But I just want to point out some details here. Do you see the front there? It's shaped like a xenomorph from the Aliens films. And right up here, you can see the Predator on the handlebars. That's awesome. Let's get a look around this whole thing. Very cool piece of junk art. All right, let's move on to the next room. Oh wow, there's a lot going on in here. Where do we even begin? So we have some more of these fantastic junk art sculptures. We have Captain America, made out of car parts. And over here we have a Transformer robot, also made out of car parts. I guess all Transformers are technically made out of car parts when you really think about it. And this is a giraffe made entirely out of coat hangers, all twisted up in different shapes. So this is a really incredible piece right here. This is a lion made out of shredded tires. So we have a two-headed lion, one roaring and one at peace. Inside of me there are two lions. Let's take a walk around this thing and just get a look at it in full detail. And you can just see all the tire treads on this, but it works so well. Okay, so on this wall we have various portraits made out of different objects. We have Lady Gaga made out of puzzle pieces, and this is Jennifer Lawrence made out of wire mesh. And it's really interesting how they just layered all the different pieces of wire mesh in different thicknesses to just get all the different shadows and things like that. Over here we have Paul McCartney made out of duct tape. Now it looks like it's pieces woven together. And we have Grease made out of cassette tape. Look at that. So this leopard is made out of dryer lint. Here we have another pushpin piece of art. This time, Justin Bieber. All these different pushpins. And here's some more stuff I remember from the Atlantic City one. These dog sculptures. They were at the Atlantic City location before it closed. So this incredibly large, intricate carving is a Chinese camel bone sculpture. And just look at how detailed and intricate this is. That's insane. Let's look down here at these different figures. And so this took 40 carvers 6 months to complete it. That's amazing. And so all the pieces in this case are made entirely out of matchsticks. So we have a Zeppelin, and we have this scale model of an oil rig, all made completely out of matchsticks. And down here we have a B-17 bomber. Imagine how much work must go into that. Okay, oddities section. Let's see what awaits us in here. So here we have the Lizard Man, sideshow performer who's modified his body to look like a lizard. All these different piercings, and he even has like implants in his forehead, forked tongue, all kinds of crazy modifications. And here we have the famous Robert Wadlow, tallest man to ever live, who when he died, he was 8 feet 11 inches tall. And he tragically died at a very young age. He was only 22. And so here we have Avelino Perez Matos, famous for being able to pop his eyes out of his skull. So here we have the Lighthouse Man of Chungking, China. He actually had a hole in his head, and he would put a candle in it, and he would light it at night and walk through the town. And so here we have the human unicorn, who was actually born with a bone protruding from the back of his skull. Kind of looks like that one Dragon Ball Z character. And here we have the women of Burma who would extend their necks by wrapping them in brass rings. Now they didn't actually extend the neck, would actually push their shoulder blades down to give it the appearance of a longer neck. I can't imagine what kind of damage that does to your body. And here we have the double-eyed man born with 2 pupils in each eye. That's chilling. Okay, it looks like in this room, we have some animal oddities.
Probably never seen creatures like these. That's because most two-headed...
Here we have a 4-horned ram. So here we have Mike the Headless Chicken, which is a chicken who actually survived for 18 months with no head. Pretty insane that a creature like that could survive with no head. So here we can see a group of deer who got their antlers interlocked and unfortunately did not survive. We have a 2-headed rabbit, 2-headed lamb, 5-legged deer. Over here we have a 2-headed goat. So here we have a 2-headed calf. And this is really wild. This is a bison with 8 legs, 2 on each side of its back.
Run by a farmer with a heart of gold. He made it his mission.
That's crazy. So here we have Dolly, the clone sheep. We have a 3-winged duck. And this is a Wolpertinger, which is a mishmash piece of taxidermy, different animals put together. And this is sort of a comical taxidermy piece, which is a goat head inflated to look like a balloon. And we have a 5-legged fox with 2 tails. I'm pretty sure that's a video game character. And so this is a piece of art, a horse made out of driftwood pieces. Really beautiful, actually. And over here are hairballs found in the stomachs of cows. Oh, that is so gross. And so here we have a piece of hair from Abraham Lincoln. And over here we have John F. Kennedy's hair. Looks like we have some more junk art. We have this big walrus made out of different pieces of scrap metal. Let's get a look at this. I love these things. Oh, look at that. It's all different wooden handles of saws and other tools. Yeah. Really cool. We have some cute Arctic animals here, except that this little mouse here is about to become lunch for this owl. We have a little fox. And here we have this polar bear with a little polar bear cub. Really awesome. And look at all the different things you can see here. You can see a fan vent, you can see license plate, all kinds of cool stuff here. So we have some cool stuff in this case. We have a woolly mammoth foot. We have an Allosaurus skull, Allosaurus hand. We have walrus tusks. It says they're scrimshaw. I don't see any carvings in them though. What do we have up here? We have a narwhal tusk. We have a warrior club. We have a club made out of a walrus's, you know what. And here we have some of my favorite androids from Star Wars. We have R2-D2 and C-3PO right here. And here we can see the Buzz Aldrin spacesuit from the Apollo 11 mission. It doesn't make it clear though if this is the actual spacesuit or just a replica, but it's a pretty convincing replica if it is one. I see you back there. You can't hide from me, you sneaky gray. I know you're up to no good. I'm watching you. And over here we have a Russian cosmonaut suit. And we have some different instruments like the radio used by him. Okay, it looks like we're walking into some sort of beach scene here. Wait a second, where'd she go? Okay, we're going into some of the wonders of the sea. So this is a creature known as a fur-bearing trout. Totally real. So this is a sperm whale foreskin, and these are walrus clubs. There really is a lot of related stuff in this museum, I gotta say. And here we have the jawbones of a megalodon shark. So here we have a carved Dyak bear skull. And this is the bones of a crucifix fish, in which the underside of it actually resembles a crucifix. Right up above us we have a record-sized great white shark. Would not want to see one of those swimming next to me when I go to the beach, that's for sure. Okay, so here we have a famous Fiji mermaid, which is actually a taxidermy trick made by sewing a monkey and a fish together. Really cool. And so here we have a shark diving cage. And let's walk inside this thing. Could you imagine being inside a cage like this and being lowered into the water while giant sharks are just swimming around you? I don't think my heart could handle that. Oh, so we have a chest here. Maybe we can find some pirate booty inside. I feel like a fool. So here we have a giant clam. We have a piranha, a flying fish, and a swordfish beak club. Sheesh, look at that. And here we have a mini covered in gold coins. Do you think they'd be mad if I tried to peel one off? Okay, so that's going to do it for the museum portion of the Ripley's exhibit, but there's actually another thing we can go to, a mirror maze. So let's go check that out. Should be fun. All right, so here we are in the mirror maze. Let's see if I can make my way out of here. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to be walking into walls left and right. Okay, so I see a pathway down here, but I feel like that's probably the wrong way to go. Maybe I'll try this way. Oh, nope. That's a wall, and I think this is a wall as well. Maybe here. Okay, I'm actually walking somewhere. All right, I see something up ahead here. Some kind of jawbone exhibit. Looks like we got some more shark bones even in the maze. Okay, so if I look down that way, I can see doors moving around, things closing. This is like something from my nightmares. I really don't like being in here. Okay, so I think that's where the movement's coming from, right there. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to go through this rotating door if I want to get out of this nightmare. Oh my gosh. Oh, and things are strobing now. Looks like we have a southern belle made out of seashells right here. Oh, I don't know why that's here. And it looks like we have some more swordfish weapons on display here, even in the maze. Okay, I think that's the way out, straight ahead, but I know if I keep walking straight, I'm gonna hit a wall. Oh, yep, hit a wall. Whew, so I managed to make it out of the mirror maze alive. Ripley's is the best. I love Ripley's museum, just so much cool stuff to see, and I was so sad when I found out the one in Atlantic City closed, and it was good to see some of the old pieces from that one here in Ocean City, Maryland. And I have to say, out of all the ones I've been to, I think this one is the best. So if you're in Ocean City, don't miss out on Ripley's, believe it or not. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.